Hello, welcome to the third top 5 or top X video of this new season, and we're going to be breaking down the top 5 sleepers from March of the Machines. And I think this set is actually quite cool. We have a couple honor mentions, of course. I don't know how they actually will stand up against other cards in the set, but I just wanted to push them out there. Let's see if you guys can brew around them. If there's any card that you guys think is a sleeper, make sure you let me know down in the comment. And if you like this kind of content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you can get alerted when the top 20 video drops tomorrow. And no further ado, let's get into the list. It's an awesome one. So honorable mentions, we have Igna and Ezekiel, which if there ever is like a Kinnan / all my creatures tap for mana, and I'm going towards some sort of sweet top end, and I think this could be a good mid-range piece to bridge that gap. I don't really know if there is a deck that's all in on, just creature base ramp like that. Me personally, I prefer not to go that path, but it does reward you if you cast a creature using 3 mana from tapping a creature. You get to draw a card. So I think this card is actually quite cool. I don't really know how the Igna applies to this. I feel like both of these are Ezekiel's stuff. So I think the card is interesting. I don't know how good it's going to be. The art is kind of weird, and it looks like they painted a background and then they just put a sticker with the chariot in front of it. I don't really know, but it's an interesting artwork. The other side, we have Interdisciplinary Mascot, 6 and 2 blue. Now, what I like about this card, of course, it has Convoke. So again, I don't know if 8 Pyromancers would ever want a card like this, where you could tap 8 creatures of your tokens and get hit down for free. It's a Ward 3. ETB, look top 4 cards, put 1 card in your hand. So it's like an impulse, put the rest of the bottom in a random order. So it's kind of a top end payoff that lets you dig for another possible win condition. I don't know how amazing that is, but it's something to keep in mind if there is a deck that cares a lot about Convoke, right? Because that is a very decent mechanic, and this is a card that's worth enough to look at it. So let's get into the top 5 list for sleepers from March of the Machines. Number 5 on my list is Borgamos and Fibblefip. 2 and a green, red, and red. So it's Teamer colors, which is my favorite color combination. And it's a 6/5 that ETBs draw a card. Whenever it attacks, you draw a card. You, at any point of which, of course, quote unquote, you draw the card, you may discard any number of lands in addition after drawing the card to be able to deal that much damage times 2 to target creature. At any point, you may pay a colorless and a blue to put this third from the top of your library. So if they have a removal, you can put it back down, protect it a little bit. I'm not sure how good this card actually is. My biggest concern about it, of course, is the fact that there's no trample, no evasion at all in this card. It's just a chunky dude that draws cards, which, I mean, is pretty reasonable. I don't think this ever would be spicy enough to put as your commander. Then again, I don't really know much about commander these days, but I do think this card is actually quite sweet. It's a huge throwback to one of the sweetest creatures of all time, the ex-Gruul leader, Borgamos and Fibblefip, which is just, a sweet card. Fan favorite. The fact that they smash them together is definitely worth the talk. And I haven't really heard anybody talk about the power level of this card, so it definitely, I think, is a sleeper. I think it might be better than what people are not thinking it could do. Let's get number 4 on our list. Zephyr Singer, a 2 and 2 blue, Convoke, Flying Vigilance 3/4. When the ETBs, put a flying counter on each creature that is tapped to Convoke it. Tokens deck. This is actually kind of cool, right? Even just like a Azorius, where like a lot of your early drops are white cards, a little bit of blue, and none of them fly. Just giving your creatures flying permanently seems actually quite strong. I think this card actually is a really good Magic card. I don't know where it fits in. It might not exist yet. There has to be like a blue tempo-ish style deck that doesn't have flying already. I'm looking at you, Spirits. We all know you have it. But Pirates we are going back to Ixalan. Is there a world where pirates want to have flying? Maybe. Maybe that is the niche that this card has been wanting. It does have Vigilance, so it gets around Wandering Emperor, and it also can help with other Convoke cards. So, but I think this is meant to be alongside your token makers to give everything flying. Smash Face. If this thing had Flash, oh, this card would be super strong. Of course, all Convoke cards, only if they had Flash or Instant Speed. I think this card is worth considering. If you guys agree, let me know down in the comments. Number 3 on our list is Dusk Legion's Duelist. This, I think, is a template of what vampires are going to become, right? Right now, vampires don't really have an identity. They are always looked at kind of like the awkward, they're always looked at the awkward vampire or zombie tribe. Because zombies are more of the aristocrat themed. Vampires have a little bit of aristocrat themed stuff, but maybe this is just telling us that Ixalan, the vampires, going to have a little bit more +1 counter themed. It seems like a good addition there. It also works quite well, I think, of course, with the heart and scales components in the set with each other. But drawing a card every time a counter gets put on this is kind of awesome. It has Vigilance, of course, to get around the Wandering Emperor. But I think this card actually is pretty decent. It's fine statted. 2 mana, 2/2 with Vigilance is reasonable. Gives you extra upside for counters, synergy. And like I said, I think this might be just the direction in which vampires are going in Ixalan. So I think this could be a cool card for the future of vampires. Let's get into number 3 on my list. Number 3 is Deeproot Wayfinder. There's a lot of what I've seen in the Magic community where they discredited this card. They didn't think it would be strong enough for Pioneer. A 2 mana 2/3, reasonable stat line. It's also not double green, which is duly noted. There used to be like tons of 2 green 2/3s that were elves. Man, I've been around for Magic for a long time. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player or a battle, surveil 1, then you may put a land from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So this is kind of awesome. This is, I think, a showcase what Ixalan might be. I don't know if they're going to be going with Surveil over Explore, but if the next round of Merfolk and Ixalan go back to Explore, then this card definitely loses a little bit of its value. But if that deck, if that tribe has Surveil, then this probably just becomes a good card. So I don't know if I know if I'm going to be trying this out in Merfolk Tribal. It doesn't necessarily do a lot of things that Merfolk kind of wants in Pioneer, which is typically tempo, flash, tap your opponent's thing down, and or return their creature to their hand. So it's kind of a more of a blue-green tempo style strategy. I am excited about trying this. I don't know where I'm going to be trying it though. But in Merfolk, this card can get up to a 3/4, 4/5 in no time. And let's get into the number 1 card from March of the Machines. The number 1 spoiler card for this set, in my opinion right now, is Knight Errant of Eos. 5 mana, 4/4 with Convoke. And you ETBs, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creatures with mana value X or less from among them. Whereas that basically X is the number of creatures that were used to Convoke it. Most of the time, mono white, you want to Convoke at least X is 3. So you dig through 6, take through 2 3-drops, which is most of the time what you're looking at in a white deck. It's very rarely that you would actually tap down 5 and look for a 5-drop. That doesn't seem very plausible most of the time. I mean, arguably you can run some 4-drops, but I imagine you would be playing this in adjacent to Kayla's Reconstruction or Collected Company. So I think this card is good for that regard and dig for 3-drops. So most of the time I think this is going to cost 2 mana, 4/4, and dig 6, take 2 3-drops, which is a reasonable stat. And it's a good card, I think. And I don't know if there's enough people talking about it. It's one of the better nights from the set. That brings us to the end of the sleeper video. And tomorrow, like I said, drops the top 20 best cards from the set. The set is packed full of role players that are actually relatively strong. You might be surprised what the number 1 card is. So definitely subscribe and hit that bell notification and share this video around so way more people see it.